Since the dawn of creation, we've been taught one simple truth. God is all-powerful and Satan is his defeated enemy. But if that's the case, why does evil still exist? Why is hell still burning? And why hasn't God ended Satan once and for all? The answer is deeper than most are willing to believe and far more dangerous. What if I told you? God can't defeat Satan. Not yet, and maybe not in the way we expect. It all began before time in the highest realm of heaven. Lucifer, the most radiant of angels, challenged the throne, not out of madness, but out of a belief that he, not God, deserved to rule. He didn't bring chaos with violence. He brought a legal argument. He claimed that a truly just God wouldn't demand worship. He'd let his creation choose. And for the sake of free will, God let Lucifer walk. When Lucifer and a third of the angels were cast down, it wasn't an execution, it was a separation. God banished him, yes, but he didn't destroy him. Why? Because Lucifer invoked something few understand, the law of divine justice. This law says that judgment must be based on evidence, not emotion, on free choice, not force. And so Satan stood before the throne and said, "Let creation decide who is right, you or me." And God, being perfect in holiness and justice, agreed. He allowed Satan to remain not as a rival but as an accuser. That's why in Scripture, Satan is called the accuser of the brethren. He's not just tempting humanity for fun, he's collecting data, evidence, building a cosmic lawsuit against God, one sinful soul at a time. Earth became the courtroom, humanity became the witnesses, and the lives we live are testimonies. Every act of hatred, selfishness, and betrayal, Satan uses as evidence to say, your creation is broken, your judgment is flawed, you are unworthy to rule. In this trial, every lie, every crime, every war strengthens his case. So why doesn't God end it all? Because he can't, not without violating his own law of righteousness. If God strikes down Satan before the evidence is clear, he becomes a dictator, not a judge. And the moment God becomes unjust, the entire foundation of heaven collapses. He's bound not by weakness, but by his own holiness. Satan's strategy isn't war, it's legal warfare. He knows the rules. He knows how far God will go to preserve divine order. And he's betting everything on this one gamble, that humanity will destroy itself, that we will choose evil, and in doing so, prove that God's creation is a failure. That's his end game. But here's where it turns. Every act of love, every choice to forgive, every time someone resists evil, we become God's defense. Our lives tip the balance. We become living proof that free will can still choose the light. That creation isn't broken, it's battling. And in that battle, we prove the righteousness of God. God can destroy Satan with a word, but if he does it prematurely, it invalidates the trial. The verdict becomes biased. Satan would say, see, he silences what he can't disprove. And so God waits, not because he's powerless, but because he's perfect. Justice takes time, and eternity watches in silence. You've probably never been told this before, but you are evidence. You are Exhibit A in a case stretching across galaxies. When you stand for truth in a world full of lies, when you love in the midst of hate, when you choose heaven even when hell is easier, you help God win the case, one soul at a time. This is why the war between heaven and hell hasn't ended. It's not because God has lost. It's because the verdict is still being written, and every person matters. Every decision matters. This isn't about church or religion. This is about cosmic law, and every one of us is a witness. So no, God hasn't defeated Satan yet. Not because he can't, but because you haven't chosen your side. The final judgment can't come until the final soul decides. And when that day comes, when the last piece of evidence is submitted, then the gavel will fall, and the war that began in heaven will end forever.